Hey, good morning. It's Kathryn Perry, the Big Vision Coach. Whoops, there we go. And welcome to the Daily One Command. And this week, I have a really juicy topic for you. We're going to be going deep on this one, and it's about calling back your power. I had really got to thinking about this. I mean, of course, every week when I do these broadcast. I think this is it. This is the thing. I feel like I was born to talk to you about that. If everybody got this, then the whole world would change. Not only would your life change dramatically, the quality of your relationships, your sense of what's possible, your ability to take action, the way that you look at the world, your whole lens of perception. You would look back on your life a whole other way. You would have a greater sense of personal power, but you would have the ability to understand when not only when someone's trying to take your power, but to encourage and support someone as they discover their power. This is so powerful. This is so impactful and it's so important. And this is really a key piece in your personal growth journey. And what we're talking about is calling back your power. And we're going to be spending 4 days really deep diving on this topic. Before we go much further, I'm Kathryn Perry, the Big Vision Coach, and I help people connect to the greatness that is within them so that they can fulfill their purpose, make their dreams come true, and do it in a way that is authentic, true, and right for them. And so I've been doing this work for about, I guess the last 30 years now. I was just a small girl when all this started. But this started, like everything else, probably like you, all this started because of what I was personally experiencing in my life. I was sick of being in pain. I was physically and emotionally. There was something in me that wanted to express, and yet I felt completely powerless and unable to make it happen. My body was locking down more and more every day, and I turned to first I started getting chiropractic care, which was a big shift for me to be able to one get connected into my body, but then understanding how my emotions was creating the physical response in my body, but then how my thoughts were creating my emotions, and then it just kind of went from there. So um, what I've been, essentially started with pain has turned into a lifelong career and advocacy for people's personal power. Before we go much further, I want to be sure and remind you, if you are watching on Facebook or Instagram, please be sure and like the StreamYard app so that I can see your comments. It's probably either here to the, I don't know, it would be to the right of the screen or maybe below or above, wherever you see the description, and it's right at the very bottom. Okay, let's get to it. And well, good morning, Miss Lenora. I'm happy to see you. And someone said, Lenora's like, oh yeah, perfect topic for me right now. Well, this is up for everybody, isn't it? This is what's up. I mean, if you look at the attack on our voter rights, your right to just be yourself, to be happy. If you look at how every square corner of our life is monetized, and that there's, I mean, just to leave the house, it's a very expensive proposition these days. There's so much going on in the world that it all feels bigger than you. But it's not just that big world outside of you that we're more aware of because of social media. And it was actually after being on social media for about a month, I realized, oh my God, I'm depressed. I feel fearful. I'm like, do we go buy chickens? What do we do? And I find it myself, I was starting to shrink when I know that I was born and designed to be big, and to express. And getting older, I felt like realized I was kind of starting to fade away a little bit. I was starting to kind of fade back into the background, but it happens to a lot of women. And I had really been thinking about this. And so I was looking at what was happening with my body and looking at just everything. And so it turned out this thing that went from this big feeling overwhelmed with all the bigness and the greatness out in the world, I started looking, I was like, look at all the places where I feel like I don't have power in my own life. What choices? And this is why teaching the Commanding Wealth program, we focus on our money beliefs. Our money beliefs are actually our beliefs about our personal power and sovereignty. So this is something that we've been talking about for a long time. So this week, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at this at some different levels. We're going to be looking at this, one, as a mental construct. Hey, how do we have this game set up in our mind, and how can we turn it around? We're going to be looking at it energetically, and then we're going to be looking at um, some of the key things that you need to do in order to truly recall your power, to truly reclaim it, and then what are the next steps? How can you take action? In fact, if you were part of the series last week, or if you haven't seen it yet, we have a series called Claim Your Vision. And Claim Your Vision and this Call Back Your Power are going to be a very nice pair to look at, to really uh, give yourself the tools to recall your power. Okay, because one, you've got to be able to look at your life a new way, and you've got to connect into an idea greater than itself, a greater than you. And when you can connect into that greater vision for your own life and your own possibility and what you want your life to look like, you have to have the power and authority to make it happen, right? Otherwise, it's just a wish. You could just spend all day long thinking and visualizing, and it would be lovely. And I have a really powerful technique called the One Command, and then so many incredible tools like the tapping, EFT, meditation, getting in touch with your body work, and all the personal development work are powerful tools. But unless you consciously reclaim your own power and your right to your power and your right to create your life, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. So we're going to look a little bit more today as far as setting an intention, and I'm going to be giving you some frameworks on how to think about this. Who's ready to dive in? All right. So, pardon me. When we think about ourselves, when we think about our experience, we aren't usually seeing the whole. We are usually looking through pieces of our experience. An example of that might be, I was just having a conversation with my son-in-law. Yesterday was Father's Day, and he and my daughter, they've been together this year 10 years, and they've been married 8 of those, and have a beautiful daughter Carolyn together. And of course we have Maddie Kay from my daughter's first relationship. But I told Jonathan yesterday, we had a moment alone while kind of gathering the cake and doing all the stuff, and I said, Jonathan, I gotta tell you, I love you so much, and I didn't realize until being around you, and because I'm really close to my daughter. I mean, I've lived with them on and off during this relationship, and getting to know you, I said, I didn't realize how much anger I had about dads, how much dad anger I had, and mistrust. And I explained to him how growing up, my mom was married 3 times by the time I was 16. And so I've mentioned that before. And not only were these relationships that came in, also it was whole family systems, and then they would leave, and then what was there was at the core. And it always felt like we were happier when my mom wasn't with these dads honestly. And there was a lot more freedom. My dad that I had as a teenager, he was a truck driver and he was gone 3 nights a week. And it just felt like we were all happier and more relaxed with him gone. And so a dad always felt like an intrusion. It always felt like just this extra element to deal with. And the real relationship to me was the relationship of my mom and my sisters. And so that is like my core world. Well, that's a small fragment. And I told him, I was like, I just want you to know, you've really helped me heal a lot of that. I didn't even understand how much anger or mistrust I had about around men or you because of that. Well, that was a broken, split off part of myself. And that was a lens of how I was looking at the world. And then we have this other broken part of ourselves called our grown up relationships, or we have our broken part of ourselves that's the friendships or our work life. And then we have this other broken part that's the little pieces of our dreams and aspiration. And so then we try to look at this, and it's really sometimes it's hard. We wonder why we can't get the vision or why we aren't taking action. And I'm not going to go too deep on this because it's Monday morning, it's early, but I want you to understand that all these broken pieces are broken pieces of you. And to move forward, it would feel like you would be leaving a piece of yourself back or leaving or betraying a part of yourself. Okay. And so we have all these broken pieces, and there's ways that in those broken pieces we see ourselves either as the victim or the perpetrator. We're one of those two. Okay. And what we will unconsciously do is, in order to stay safe, we will either try to be smaller and we'll do all the things that helped us survive that past thing, or we'll unconsciously move into the perpetrator mode. And and a lot of folks that I deal with and I've met over the years, they're terrified of being that part. They see power as something that creates pain in others. And so they never step into that. And so it's all these fragments and pieces. The other way that we can kind of lose ourselves is think of all your relationships. I mean, I just want you to think of all the ways that we are plugged in, right? Like when we gather up our energy and we're moving forward and we're trying to do stuff, we have to build up a lot of power to sometimes get through the day. But then if you think about if we have a negative emotion and negative thoughts about it, it can drain our power away. Here's an example: traffic. Traffic is traffic. It's if you go leave at certain times of the day, there's going to be things that you do not have control of outside of your car, right? All you have is what's in control of is inside of your car. And yet people will get frustrated and upset and be mad about fighting traffic going home. Years ago, when I was married to Mr. Perry, we had very different ideas about traffic and other drivers. And he spent most of the time in traffic yelling and being mad at other drivers and, come on, guy, hurry up or slow down or get over a hole. And he just said all that. And it's like, why are you so mad? Right? This is the time of day we go home. This is it. It's kind of slow. Let's just enjoy the ride. Me and you get to be together, and we're going to listen to music. And heck, I don't care if we're going 20 miles an hour or 50 miles an hour. I don't care. And I have no control over that. And what I found, he was like, I just can't stand all this. Well, it was because he didn't feel like he had any power in the situation. But he actually had all the power. There were just some things that he couldn't control. Okay. And so we have to look at it that way, that there's so much outside of us that we don't have control over, but we always have control and power over what's inside of our car. And we have to be the ones to maintain what's in the car and the attitude and the energy. Otherwise, what happens is that outside circumstance will get hooked into it. Like, energetically, and it will suck our power away. We'll get in power struggles with people and our relationships. I was in a session the other day with someone, and she came onto the call kind of agitated about this other person. And we got about halfway through, and I started calling my client by this name, like I'm in a deep meditation. And I couldn't stop saying that other person's name, not my client's name, but the other person's name. And I was like, oh my gosh, listen, your frustration about this situation is pulling your power. It's pulling your focus and your energy from what you actually want to manifest and create. I can't even tell you the number of sessions where someone's come in and I'll like not even know the person and go, hey, who's Debbie? Who's this person? What is that situation? Because it's sucking their energy. So we're looking at life through these different fragments, and we are living inside of each of these fragments. And that's breaking up our power. It's pulling us away. And it's causing us to make a decision about ourselves, about our ability. And we are wind up being what's famously, we always say that we are at the effect, but not the cause. When we are at the effect of others and we feel like we have no power within ourselves to create a solution, then we are in victim mode. And we are at the effect, and we never, it's never our fault. It always seems like there's something outside of us that stops us, and then we need something outside of us to come and save us. That's victim mentality. Okay, so we're going to heal all that stuff this week. Okay, all right. So, what do? Well, we start with an intention, and this is what our command is around today. I call back all of my power now. I am whole and complete. And we want to thank the beautiful Danielle Laporte, an incredible healer and consciousness teacher, for this one statement. I call back, say it again, I call back all of my power now. I am whole and complete. Now, if we are looking through the one command, mentally we may say, yes, that, I want that. But we may not actually know what it looks like or feels like to be in our power. We don't know how to actually access it. We get some clues, but we don't know how. But there's a part of you that knows how, your own greater intelligence, that own potential that resides right in your DNA. So we're going to make this command, and it's going to be based on this statement right here. I don't know how I take back all of my power. I only know that I am whole and complete now, and I am fulfilled. Do you like that? This is how you can take an affirmation and to truly change your life. Okay, I call back all of my power now. I am whole and complete. I don't know how. I call back all of my power. I only know that I am whole and complete now, and I am fulfilled. We're going to use that one statement. Ready? We're going to go through the 6 steps of the one command. So I want to just invite you to close your eyes and feel your connection to the earth. And picture, visualize, or imagine that you are like a tree and that you have long energy roots coming from the base of your spine all the way down, 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 down into the earth. And right now, if there's any tension, any anger, any shame, any blame, any drama, if you're feeling any tension in any way of your body, just let it release down, down, down into the earth. Just allow the earth to heal and transform that energy, bringing your attention back up, 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 and just allow that energy to come up through the bottom of your feet, up into your knees, into your hips, up your spine, and your neck and your shoulders. That beautiful, creative, life force energy. I want to invite you to align to your heart and that love in your heart. As you align to the truth of your power, and right now, we don't know what that truth is. We can only know that it's there, even though we don't know how to believe it. We don't know how to truly experience it or call on it. Just align to the truth of the power that already resides deep within you. And as you are mentally and emotionally aligning to that greater part of you that's just waiting to express, outside of you is an experience of what living, moving, breathing in your power. And right now, between knowing and not knowing, let there only be love. Between knowing that you are powerful beyond measure. Otherwise, why would there be so much effort to steal it away from you? And that greater potential that you know is your destiny. Between those 2 points, let there only be love. I want to invite you to picture, visualize, or imagine that you have a connection to Source, and it's represented as a pole of light. It's coming right down through the top of your head, going right down 2 channels down either side of your spine, going all the way down into the earth, and it's aligning to you. And it's connecting to that creative life force energy and bringing it all together in service to you. Very softly, with your eyes closed, roll your eyes up and picture, visualize, or imagine that you are traveling up that pole of light. Just send your consciousness right up. That pole of light. Beautiful. The higher you go, the faster you go. And soon you find yourself at the outer edges of the known universe. And in the distance, you may see a teeny pinprick of light. Head in that direction, and instantly you break through the darkness into the light of pure, open potential. With your eyes up, very softly, don't strain, you can say out loud or silently to yourself, follow along, I don't know how. I call back all of my power now. I only know that I am whole and complete right now, and I am fulfilled. And just let that idea go. Let that expand out to an idea even greater that serves more good in its potential. And what we're doing when we expand, just allow your consciousness to expand. And then let that energy and that consciousness begin to fill in between all the cracks of the mirror, raising the vibration of everything that kept you broken and separated. All those memories, every teeny decision, all those hurts, all those fears. Just allow this vibration of this greater consciousness begin to raise that vibration of you and the energetic you. And now I just want to invite you to become aware of coming back down to your body and start to receive with gratitude this greater awareness, this new understanding of your power, of the wholeness and fullness and what that looks like and feels like. And just be in a field of gratitude and appreciation. And now, as this greater state of being begins to arrive, we're just going to let all those old hurts, that old pain, those old beliefs, we're just going to let those go, those old stories. We're just going to let them unwind, unwind, unwind. Let them go, let it go, let it go. There's so many things you told yourself about why it had to be this way and why you had to be less than and why you have to hold back and cut yourself off and why someone else has more rights over your life than you. Just let all those stories, let all of that go. Let it unwind, unwind, unwind. And now as we allow this greater state of being to begin to arrive, this greater truth, it's a remembrance. It's actually not anything new. Just allow this begin to rewind and integrate deep within you. Be present to yourself. And right now, usually we have you check in with your heart and check in with what you're noticing or what you know now. Right now, I'm going to ask you as you tune into your heart, will you give yourself permission to take back your power? To call back all the little pieces of you that you left behind? Will you give yourself permission to do so now? You can open your eyes. Now, be sure, we always say this, but be sure this is a perfect time to be making notes about what's coming up for you. And we're going to be talking more about how to meet that and how to truly call that back. Okay. But today, just as you're going to be going through memory, you're turned on, you're activated right now. I want to just give you a little clue here. First, take responsibility for whatever situation comes up. You maybe didn't know that you had power or authority then. But take responsibility today. One, that, hey, maybe you were a co-creator, but you're going to take responsibility for your healing and fixing that. Okay? Next, love yourself through the process, because at every moment where your power was given away, it was because you wanted love and acceptance. So wouldn't it make sense that by giving yourself love and acceptance right now for who you were then, giving yourself what you needed then would free you, and it would maybe release the hold of that situation or that other person over you? Practice your visualization and rewriting these. Like if you said, wow, I had no power, um, I just gave up. Right then you say, I don't know how. I never give up. You meet every moment that comes up with the one command. We're going to be talking about this, but things are going to be coming up. And what I'm asking you to do is look at it through the lens that you have already called back your power. And you have enough power to heal whatever is coming up for you. Okay? All right, my love. I'm going to go ahead and let you go. But remember, what do we say? That seventh step is inspired action. So be ready for that idea or the inspiration or opportunity and go for it. Be open and ready to start saying yes to the things you truly want and no to the things that you don't want. Okay. And of course, if I can be of any help or service to you, please let me know. All you have to do to reach out, one, you can message me right here on the app, or you can book a free call by clicking into the link that I have in the description. And it's the bit.ly big vision coach link. And that'll take you to my appointment calendar. Let's have a chat about it. All right, my love. Until next time, this is Kathryn Perry, the Big Vision Coach, and I witness your mastery. Bye bye, everybody.